honestly didn't know anything about this person. I probably seen the video, didn't really know who they were. And then I'm not really fully into like political stances. I'm not as educated as I could be. So I think we'll come from like I'm going to be a different perspective of the educational aspect of it, and the person who did tragically pass away. I'll be probably from a different perspective as far as not really knowing fully. And then my husband.
I on the other hand I'm very well familiar with Charlie Kirk. I've actually seen a lot of his videos on TikTok and some of it on Instagram and Facebook. He'll pop up, but I also have had conversations with him as well. Like a lot of these standpoints I absolutely 1000% agree with. And then there are some things where I disagree on with him, but that's okay. Like, so I've watched a lot of Charlie Kirk, him with Candace Owens, and there are a few others. The Hodge twins. Some of you may or may not know them.
Yeah, I don't even know. I know Candace though. I know Candace Owens.
I ain't do that to you.
She's so extra.
But there are a lot of conservative black Americans, and for some time now I have been watching them, and for a lot of time for the longest of time I grew up Democrat, because that's what we was taught. Our grandmas, great grandmas, well probably not great grandmas, but our grandmas, our aunties, uncles, moms, dads, there was nothing but Democrats around. And the only thing we really heard was that, Republicans are racist, and, this person doing that. Every time there's a Republican brought up, it's always linked to racism. Outside of Dr. Ben Carson, who I think we as a black, we owe him an apology, but he was called the coon for even being a black man running for Republican side. And he's a gifted doctor. They made a whole movie about Dr. Ben Carson.
And book.
Yeah.
I read a book for him.
To Get the Hands.
Yep. And they actually, I think he wrote it, if I'm not mistaken. It was something I had learned about. I had to read for a project in class.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm coming from that background of where I was also a part of that generational Democrat background, but I've been listening to a lot of the conservative ideas over the past few years, and when I registered to vote for the first time, I voted for Obama. Yes, but round two, I voted for Obama. I don't know what we kind of what's the hold up of that the Democratic Party have over us. And I'm not saying that you can't vote Democratic Party. If you want to vote that's fine. That's your right. But a lot of the values that the conservative party or conservative sides have had, I agree with them. And it just, when you look at everything today, it kind of, that is what resonates with me. You see, I have a daughter. I have kids. Like, that's just where I resonate with. Why did you mention you had kids? Like, what does that have to do with? Well, because you look at more of the liberal side now, and even here in California, they're, like we was talking about it a few times, where they're trying to take the rights from us as parents, that we can't have, that our kids can get, picked up from school without us knowing.
We just got a letter from Kaiser saying that
that they can get sex changes, mental health, what is it?
Sexual health. Another one can go in. He can go and make an appointment without my consent. He can go and
absolutely
have his own appointments, basically.
He can get a whole sex change without our knowledge of. They don't have to tell us. And then yes, they can have an adult. They're not gonna ID adults to come and pick up their kids from school. Like, anybody can come do that. And they can take the custody. So there's a lot that's going on the liberal side now, to where it's like it puts a lot of things in perspective, and they're pushing that agenda here in California. Now, a lot of I was born and raised on the East Coast. A lot of these type of programs didn't hit the East Coast until they started first in California. And once there was a Democratic president, then, you know, they started in a Democratic heavy Congress. That's when all those agendas start making their way east. Like they go on a national program. So I'm not saying that if you're a Democrat and you want to vote Democrat, that's fine. I mean,
we're still like, I mean, if that was the case, then that would just negate what we just stated. You
right.
should be able to walk with people, and even if you don't have the same agreement, we all live together. We all got one earth. We can't go nowhere else. You know, so it's like, but we should also be able to even advocate for ourselves. If we feel like something is right, even if it's not fully in agreement. Now, I'm not saying things like inappropriate behaviors like, oh, let's go unalive people and think that that's okay. No, that's not okay. Then that's the point where, I'm not fooling with you. Right. You know, and then there's places for people like that called jail and prison and all these other things. So that's not what I'm stating. But as far as people, let's say there's something completely left field that I don't agree with, but somebody's promoting that on their social media, that's their business. That's what they're following. That's for them. I'm going to unsubscribe, I'm going to unfollow, and I'm going to unfriend or possibly block. I don't have to see all of that. And I think with this person who did recently, you know, what happened with him was just really unfortunate. Yeah. He's doing what he was born to do. He's walking in his purpose. That's what he was born to do. If I don't agree with that, I don't have to go to nothing where he's speaking at. I don't have to follow any of his social medias. I can just unsubscribe to all of that and focus on my own life and what my purpose is.
Right.
You know, because we got so much of an opinion about everybody else, you know, but what are we actually doing that is our God-given talents? So what are we putting out back into the world, or we're so focused on other people?